Hello and welcome. So not one of my usual videos today. So this video we're going to take a look at unconventional systems and do you really need it? So first off, what is unconventional systems, or Uncon as I'll be referring to it from this point forward? So Uncon is a personal space trait and it does cooldown reduction on your universal consoles when activating certain abilities. So what abilities trigger unconventional systems? So you have your science abilities there, your jam targeting sensors, tractor beam, scramble sensors, tractor beam repulsors, grav well and photonic shockwave. Engineering, you have emit unstable warp bubble and the eject warp plasma. For intel, it's viral impulse burst, electromagnetic pulse and ionic turbulence. Temp gives you Heisenberg amplifier, chronometric inversion field and timeline collapse, and for pilot it's clean getaway. Now you'll notice that there is no tactical abilities there that trigger unconventional systems, and no miracle worker ones either. So this is predominantly used on ships that either have plenty of psi seating or have a specialisation such as intelligence or temporal operative. So where do you get Uncon in the first place? So most people will look at the exchange. Now this screen grab was taken just before I recorded the video, so it's averaging around about 60 million on the player exchange at the moment. The other option is you open Infinity lockboxes and you get personal space trait drops and you select it from there. So let's jump into the game and we'll take a quick look at it in action, and then we'll have a look at if you really need it or not. So here I am in a patrol just now, so I'm going to hit my universal consoles here, and then if I hit my unconventional systems triggers, assuming the enemies actually survive long enough allowing me to do it, mind you. If I hit clean getaway, for example, you'll see the cooldown has reduced. Same again there. And if you watch the Gemini and Agony distributor there, so again, drop down significantly more. Now, there's alternatives. For example, the Fulvin console from the Obelisk ship from one of the events last year, that does cooldown reduction fantastically. That's my Gemini ready to rock and roll again straight away there. So that's the entire point of unconventional systems, is to get your universal consoles back up as quickly as possible. Again, I take the auto fire off and just purely hit my universals again, then go for the cooldown reduction. So there's Gemini dropped, same with weak power network array. So just by simply activating those science and pilot abilities, I am getting my universal consoles back up quicker and thus being able to do more damage. So the real question is, do you really need unconventional systems? So Uncon is a very hot topic at the moment, because it is part of the meta. A lot of high-end builds, if not all high-end builds, use unconventional systems. But the player base is kind of split between Uncon and other methods. Now, that could be because the players don't understand how to use Uncon correctly. They don't understand what it does, or it's just not their playstyle, and that's fine. So, let's have a look at some alternatives to start with. So, Uncon is all about cooldown reduction, so getting your consoles back up as quickly as possible. So, ways of doing that is an Ox to Bat build, so you use certain duty officers that provide cooldown when the Ox to Bat engineering ability is used, and I use that on my free-to-play account because I don't have Uncon, and that works perfectly fine. There's traits such as the Boimler effect from the low-buy store. Again, it's an expensive trait to get, but it's another one you can get off the exchange if you don't have any low-buy, or when you get low-buy from either events or the campaign rewards each year, you can use it and low-buy to get it in. So there is other means of getting cooldown reduction, and as I showed in the video with the patrol there, the roving console from, if you played last year's event and got the obelisk, you'll have that. Activating that every 30 seconds gets you cooldown on your consoles. Nice and easy. Now, if you actually need it is the key question. So, as with most things in Star Trek Online, it comes down to what you are doing in the game. Now, if you're doing a role-playing story content, probably not. It will help, don't get me wrong. It'll allow you to activate your consoles more quickly during combat and story missions, and if you're doing TFOs, great. Are you chasing DPS? Then yeah, you're probably going to want Uncon, and in order to get those universal consoles back up as quickly as possible to do more damage. If you're experimenting with builds, then yeah, you could probably use with it. But as I say, there's other means of getting cooldown. So, like everything in Star Trek Online, whether you need something or not is solely dependent upon you and your playstyle. You can watch all the videos in the world on YouTube. Yeah, I've got several of the other content creators linked in the description below. And you'll see all their build videos. But these guys are high-end players. You know, they chase DPS, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's their playstyle, that's what they enjoy in the game, and that's the key thing, is what you enjoy about the game and what you want to do in it. So if you're wanting to top the leaderboards in the DPS meta, you know, get the most DPS in an ISE or an HSE or what have you, then yeah, you will be looking at getting Uncon. You will be looking at copying the builds of some of the other content creators, and that's perfectly fine. If your playstyle is that you just like dressing up in uniforms and flying ships you've seen in the show and enjoy shooting things, crack on. So there's no pressure to get this trait, is the summary really, is only you will know if you need this or not. And that's what it boils down to, is everybody can say to you, oh, you should get this, or you must get that, but only you know what you're doing in the game. So this isn't a bad trait, it's an excellent trait. It's not a must-have trait, with the caveat of depends on what you're doing. I see a lot of people getting, as I said earlier, mad about the builds focusing on Uncon and not showing anything else, but at the end of the day, to get the high-end builds, you're going to use Uncon. That's why it's there. And it's not as inaccessible as, say, getting a console or a trait off a promotional ship or a lockbox ship, for example. These are lockbox traits. They are expensive on the exchange, but getting off the exchange is probably cheaper than trying to buy keys and gamble for it from the lockboxes. So 60 million for the trait, that's 5 lockbox keys with no guarantee that you'll get a personal space trait to drop. I think that will just conclude this video here, to be honest. It's not one of these videos that shows you why you must get it. It's more just to explain what it is. Give you some information to see if it's what you want for your builds, if it's going to help your playstyle. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Star Trek Online is one of these games that there's something for everybody. You know, whether you're doing roleplay builds dressed up in the Wrath of Khan uniform with a Constitution class refit and firing pulse phasers, or if you're going down the meta route with the best of the best ships and traits and consoles, there's something in the game for everyone. And that's what everybody should remember. Just because somebody's playstyle is different from yours doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it different. And if they're enjoying themselves and they're getting through everything, that's all it boils down to. Because you don't need a meta build to do content in Star Trek Online. You can get through, as I have, and quite a few characters, the story missions and that with what you get as rewards in the game. So, from the equipment and weapons from the reputation system, to mission rewards, to the ships you get from the ship vendor in the social zones, to the giveaways that you have throughout the year, you know. So, you don't need to spend an absolute ton of money to enjoy playing this game. And I'll leave you with that. Just remember, only you know what you need in this game. Thanks for watching.